Hi everybody, and welcome to my presentation on Destination Perth, why the West Coast is the best coast. And I'm talking about the West Coast of Australia here. So I'm from the University of Western Australia. My name is Ruth Castrati and I'm the International Relationships Manager for North America. So I'm just going to be telling you a little bit about our beautiful city and what you might expect if you do choose to come to Australia or Western Australia or Perth to study. So you can see a beautiful picture to start with of our skyline looking over the river in Perth. And I'm going to get started with just telling you a little bit about Australia as a study destination first of all. Because you might be considering studying in a few different places and Australia might not even be on your radar. There are a few good reasons why it's actually a really great place to study. First of all, it's the third most popular international student destination in the world. So we are a fairly small country of 24.5 million people, but we are world leaders in education. We're expected to soon take over the UK as the world's second most popular study destination behind the USA. We also have 7 of the best student cities in the world located in Australia. So we already knew that our cities were great places to live and study, but it's now official. And we also have 7 of the world's top 100 universities in our country. So our universities are pretty young compared to I don't know, the UK's Oxford or the US's Harvard, for example, but they're really up there with the best. So we have 7 institutions that are all ranked in the world's top 100. We're also home to about 700,000 international students. So every year we've been increasing on international student numbers. And basically we put that down to having a really great lifestyle here, a multicultural lifestyle, good student support services, and just everything combining to make it an attractive study destination. There's also good incentives for part-time jobs for students. So you can actually study up to 40 hours per week at the moment, and for up to 4 years of post-study work is available in your visa options, okay? Actually, if you're studying in Western Australia, you get 1 extra year of additional post-study work rights compared to some other cities in Australia, such as Sydney and Melbourne. Now a little bit more about Western Australia. So in Western Australia, you can see us there on the left side of Australia. So we actually take up nearly 1/3 of the whole of Australia. And similar to some places in North America, you may be able to relate to our geography. We have huge land areas with relatively small populations in our different cities. So we have 7 states and territories, and Perth is the capital of Western Australia. And if you look at somewhere like Sydney, which is here, it's actually a 5-hour flight from Sydney over to Perth, or 41 hours if you like driving. You can do that as well. So it's pretty much as going from coast to coast from Canada, for example. And we might not have the Harbour Bridge, the Opera House or the Great Barrier Reef, but we do have the Mandurgardup Bridge, the Blue Boat House and the Ningaloo Reef, all of which you can see are photographed here. So you probably haven't heard of all or even any of these places, but that's what makes Western Australia so special. You can actually get off the beaten track and explore the lesser side of Australia. It's totally unique. We also have Bali in Indonesia, just a few hours flight from us. So you can see a picture of that on the top right. And this is really a place for Western Australians to go, even just for a long weekend, to do some shopping, etc. It's actually closer to any other capital city in Australia. So yeah, we are very familiar with going to Bali for our holidays. In terms of Perth itself, we're the nearest Australian city to Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and Europe. We're located in the same GMT+8 time zone as China, the same time zone as much of Southeast Asia as well. And we have a population of 2.1 million people, which has doubled over the last 40 years, and it's going to continue to grow and to get past 3 million people by 2030. So we have a robust economy in Perth, partly because of the population growth, but also because we have a really strong natural resources sector. So one really positive result of having this economy and the growing population is a higher than average wage for our workers. So in fact, the average annual income in Western Australia is about 8% above the national average, and that includes places like Sydney and Melbourne. So this is really good news for our graduates who are wanting to work in Perth after they finish studying. Perth's also a really affordable place to live as well, with a really low accommodation cost per capital city. We're also pretty proud of our enviable lifestyle here. We're the sunniest capital city in Australia. We have over 8 hours of sunshine in a day, and it's not a very humid climate. It's more dry, sort of Mediterranean climate with a really good air quality. So we're in autumn now, and I'm sitting here talking to you guys. It's going to be predicted to be about 26 degrees Celsius today, a nice sunny day. We have a really healthy, active lifestyle due to the number of national parks, beaches, open spaces, and outdoor activities that we have on offer. The city of Perth is less than 20 minutes to beaches, national parks, many attractions, world-class wineries, restaurants, all that kind of thing. And all of these things accumulate in Perth ranking officially as the 14th most livable city in the world. And there's a few pictures that I'll go into in more detail in a moment. We also consider ourselves very safe and welcoming and friendly. I mentioned that the city has a population of 2.1 million people, and close to 40% of that population was actually born overseas. That's including myself. I'm from the UK originally. So Perthians come from over 190 countries, and there's over 270 different languages spoken. So it really is a truly multicultural society. And this is reflected in everything from our festivals to our food, to our shops, to our culture. We're home to 59,000 international students from many different countries all over the world. And we have one of the highest diversities of student nationalities in Australia, as well as being voted one of the safest cities in the world, which is obviously really important in your decision about where to go to for your education. I'm just going to share a few of my favourite pictures of some of the attractions around Perth, just so you can get a bit of a visual about our city. This first one is Cottesloe Beach. It's one of our more iconic beaches and only 15 minutes from our university, in fact. This is a great place to take a picnic and go and watch a sunset on a summer's evening. Beautiful white sand, beautiful blue water. We also have Rottnest Island, which is our favourite holiday destination, just an hour by ferry from Perth City. It's home to our unique animals called quackers, which are pictured here. Quackers are actually the happiest animals in the world, fact. And one of the things to do on this island, as well as doing the snorkeling and the diving and the boating and all that kind of beautiful scenic stuff, is to take a quacker selfie. So you can see we've got Roger Federer, Chris Hemsworth, Matt Damon, lots of celebrities coming to Rottnest Island to take photos with the quackers because they're so super cute. We also have Kings Park in our city, again, only a short walk from the university. This is actually the biggest urban park in the world, so it's actually larger than Central Park in New York City, and it's a beautiful place to watch the sunrise over the city and over that gorgeous river, which is called the Swan River. We also have an entertainment precinct called Northbridge, and if you do come to study and live in Perth, you'll become very familiar with Northbridge, as this is the centre of our basically entertainment district. So your clubs, your bars, your restaurant, cafes, all that kind of thing. And we have a lot of festivals and stuff happening as well. It's a really cool place to hang out right in the city centre. We've also recently had built the Optus Stadium, which is a huge stadium that is home to a number of different sports and music events, and was actually voted the most beautiful sports facility in the world only 2 years ago. Really amazing place, and we've had some great basketball, cricket, soccer, including Manchester United, who came and played a game with us, and of course Australian rules football, which is a must-see if you do come and study in Australia, of course. And this beautiful bridge you can see in the background, this is the Madagata Bridge, and this connects the stadium over to the city, and you can actually do a zip line from the top of here right over to the banks of the Swan River, as well as do a bridge climb, which is pretty cool as well. And in terms of Western Australia outside of Perth, there's just really so many places to go. It's such a huge state. Like I said, taking up pretty much a third of the whole of Australia. There's endless places to see and to travel to during your semester breaks or on your weekends. So up north, you've got some really beautiful places like the Pinnacles, which you can see here under the beautiful open night sky. The Pinnacles are basically a huge rocky outcrop. Kind of looks like you're in a sci-fi movie when you go, and they're quite fascinating. Also up north, we have Cable Beach, which is a really stunning spot where you can ride camels on the beach. It's one of the most beautiful beaches in Australia. And you can also swim with the whale sharks at Ningaloo Reef. So although we don't have Great Barrier Reef, like I said, we've got Ningaloo Reef where you can swim with whales, dolphins, whale sharks, also turtles and things like that. It's actually a really beautiful place. We also have some national parks like Karajini up north. And down in the south and southwest regions, we have so many nice wineries. You might have heard of Margaret River wines. They're very world famous. Lucky Bay in Esperance is somewhere where you can actually experience having kangaroos come up to you right on the beach. And we also have one of the largest jetties in the world in Busselton, which is just a couple of hours south of Perth. So that's a really fascinating place to visit, as well as the Pink Lake, which is close by. Onto our campus. So this is a picture of where the UWA campus is in terms of some of the other landmarks that I've already pointed out, like Kings Park and the Perth CBD as well. So you can see that our campus is located right along the Swan River between Kings Park and Matilda Bay, which is where you can see these boats and yachts here. So there's lots of cafes and classrooms that actually overlook the river on the edge of the campus. It's very scenic, very picturesque. It's also incredibly easy to get to the campus from the city centre, which is just here. You can either drive, which would take you just over 10 minutes. You could ride a bike. There's a dedicated bike path that goes right along the river, right to the campus. Or you can catch one of the buses that runs every couple of minutes during term time. And if you go the other way, past the campus in the other direction, you'll actually get to Cottesloe Beach, which is the one you saw a photo of a few slides back. Our health campus is about a 10-minute walk from the university's main campus. So if you were studying something like medicine or dentistry or pharmacy or some lab-based health sciences degree, then you may study at the health campus. We also have our residential colleges, which are just located across the road within walking distance. And that's where you would live likely if you were a student at our university. In terms of the university itself, the University of Western Australia is one of 5 universities in Perth City. It's the oldest institution, so we were actually established over 100 years ago, which is quite old for an Australian institution. We're the only university in our state to be ranked in the world's top 100. We're also a member of the Group of 8, which is a coalition of the best research-intensive universities in Australia. This is reflected in terms of the excellent quality of teaching that you'll receive as a student. And it also means that majority of our state government research funding comes to our university, which I believe is about 80%. UWA also comes first for its on-campus events and activities out of all of the universities in Australia. So this is fantastic news for our students, as the extracurricular and social things that you do at university are really just so important to ensure you have the best and the most well-rounded experience while you're studying abroad. This will also help you transition into university life and make friends quite easily. 2 of our standout courses that we're quite well known for are our Doctor of Dental Medicine and our Doctor of Medicine courses. So we are ranked in the world's top 50 for clinical medicine. We do have 2 Nobel Prize winners from UWA in the field of medicine, including Professor Barry Marshall, who's still a current staff member who teaches at the university. And we have 70 years plus of teaching in our dental school as well. When it comes to courses that we offer at UWA, we have got quite a range depending on whether you're a high school student or a university student, or you're in the workplace already and looking to come back and upskill. So in terms of undergraduate courses, as well as some diploma pathways and English language pathways we also have full undergraduate offerings, so 3 or 4 year courses, and they're either specialised courses in a very particular area of study, or comprehensive courses, which are a bit broader, where you can kind of build your own degree to suit your needs and your career outcomes. As I said, our medicine and dentistry courses are doctor courses, so they are postgraduate offerings, but we do have pathways into these postgraduate courses from high school. So high achieving high school students can actually get a guaranteed place into medicine and dentistry from their year 12 at school. We have some combined bachelor and master's degrees, which are ways that we can package up a 3-year bachelor degree with a 2-year master's degree into a shorter time frame, so that if you are looking for that extended education, you can do that right away in a reduced duration. We have a lot of postgraduate coursework and research-based courses, including PhDs, and we also offer a Juris Doctor qualifying law degree. So quite a lot of options, and really this is just a small selection of what we've got to offer. So I would urge you to grab one of our course guides from the UWA stand if you want to find out a bit more information on each of those. We also offer some fantastic scholarships for pretty much all international students. These are merit-based reductions of your tuition fees. So depending on what your final result is for either your high school or your university degree, you can potentially get up to 12,000 Australian dollars per year for the duration of your course. And this is for undergraduate and postgraduate students. And these are automatically applied. So when you make an offer to the university, we will assess your academic qualifications, and if you're eligible for a scholarship, that will be applied to your offer letter. So you will know that right away when you apply or when you give us your documentation. Most courses, I think over 95% of our courses are eligible for the scholarships. The only exceptions are our quota-based courses. So things like medicine or dentistry won't be included in these scholarships. We also, as I mentioned, have residential colleges, which are places where you can live while you're studying with us. We have 5 colleges which are just across the road from campus. So we basically say you're living on campus because you can just roll out of bed and roll into your class. The great thing about living on campus is that it's just so convenient. You can transition obviously well into the university, but you just don't have to worry about everything. It's pretty much all taken care of, and you can just concentrate on your study and making friends and getting to know the city, etc. So most meals are included, and we have some fantastic food options there to cover a lot of dietary requirements as well. We also have great access to university facilities. So for example, you would get a gym membership, you would get bike hire, all of that sort of stuff, Wi-Fi included in your accommodation. You can also walk to most of the places that I've mentioned, like Kings Park and the river, the medical centre, and a short cycle ride to the city. You can live with other Australian and international students and do a lot of inter-college activities, social programs and sports and things like that. So it's just a great way to make friends and to settle in pretty easily into university life. And that's it from me. I just wanted to give you a pretty brief overview about the university. I am in the chat room from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. Eastern time. So please do pop in, ask me any questions that you would like to. Really happy to have a chat about courses or about Perth or about the university or studying in Australia. And other ways to get in touch could be through our social media channels. We also offer a live chat or student advising appointment online as well. So feel free to take note of those details. And yeah, I hope that's given you a little bit of information about the destination that is Perth, Western Australia, and some great things about living and studying in our beautiful state. Thank you so much for your time.